very hard for existence. So for them, the Lord, after the creation of the material world, gave the Vedic wisdom, advising how to live and get rid of the material entanglement. So when the activities for sense gratification, namely we call the karma kanda, chapter are finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of the Upanishads, which are part of different Vedas. As the Bhagavad Gita is part of the fifth Veda, we call the part of Mahabharata, and the Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. So other thing Prabhupada says that as long as the material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material modes. One has to learn tolerance in the face of dualities such as happiness and distress or cold and warm, and by tolerating such dualities become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss. The transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the good will of Krishna. So this is the purport. So little background, I think many of you are attending the class regularly, so I think we're in second chapter. So second chapter, it started with, Krishna. First chapter we have seen in the battlefield, Krishna, Arjuna was completely in, perplexed situation. Then second chapter in the beginning, so he kind of surrendered to Krishna that I don't know what to do, you tell me. So you are my guru, I surrender to you. And then Krishna told about the initial few slokas covered the body and soul. So you know that we are not the body, but the soul, right? So that was done, and then lot of slokas covered the differences between soul and body. And then, then Krishna started about the specific duty, because the whole purpose Krishna is telling Arjuna that get up and fight, right? Because he didn't want to fight. So then there was a Krishna mentioned about karma and then bondage. Like if you do karma, there are three types of karma and all that. So actions and reaction. So that is Krishna says, I told you all this by analytical study, and then. Slowly Lord introduced that the working without fruitive result. So anything we work, we always look for a result, right? So anything we try to do, we say what benefit it will have, why I will do, right? So that is what we initially look at, and then we start the work rather, right? But here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that work without fruitive result. So Krishna says that just do work, don't see the result. So then in that process what happens, there is no bondage in those kind of work. If you work for Krishna, there is no bondage. And that is how that is only called Krishna consciousness. And then 2.40 Krishna says that if you do this kind of activity in Krishna consciousness, so there is no loss. Gain only, because even if you live little bit, you do in this life, you cannot do much. But that stays with our soul, it stays. So when next birth, or if you have no birth, good, but it stays with us, there's no loss, right? So that is how Krishna started, that is 2.40, and then Krishna, then in that process only Krishna introduced this term. So he's basically trying to get us attracted to the devotional service, right? So just slowly he's introducing. Then he's talking about the Vedas. So a lot of people, usually in India, so everybody they get attracted to Vedas. We are all accustomed to going to temple, on some kind of puja and all we do, right? So there's this Purohits or Brahmins, they utter a lot of Vedic mantras. So here, so you have to be very careful now. We are in Krishna consciousness, so we'll have fair idea that what is the difference. So Lord says that men of small knowledge get attracted to flowery words of Vedas. So a lot of people, they like it. Oh, such a nice, jagna, so much. The whole day, 8 hours or 10 hours or 24 hours, there are jagna happen, so much mantras and all. So you feel good, that is good. But Krishna says that is not enough. Yeah? So just, you get attracted to that is not enough. And then, so why he says so? So then he says that who basically does all this jagna or going to temple and doing puja and asking many things. So that is basically categorized as sense gratification. That is for our own sense gratification, sense enjoyment. We do that. So Lord mentioned of the people with desire for sense gratification. There is sense enjoyment and opulent life. Everybody wants more. Right? That is our desire. We go and ask. So we only ask, material gain, sense enjoyment. So there is what is missing there. There is no intention of devotional service. The Krishna prema. So what is the ultimate aim of our life is Krishna prema. So that we miss, right, in that process. So this sloka is about that. So I kind of trying to the sloka break into three parts. The first part, what Lord says that these Vedas mainly deal with the subject matter of the three modes of material nature. That is one. And then, so we actually, if you read Bhagavad Gita, there is a complete description of these modes of material nature in chapter 14. So we'll just talk about just three modes a little bit, we'll cover. And then what is important here, what Lord advising Arjuna, that you become transcendental to these three modes. So that is something, little philosophical, we'll discuss what is that meaning. And then we just go beyond, above those three modes of material nature, but how do we do that, So that is something we'll discuss. And he says, then how also you become free from dualities and free from all anxieties for gain and safety and be established in the self. So that is the self's realization. So there is three different parts we will discuss in big details. And then, so if you look at this purport, so I'm repeating the last paragraph of the purport where it's very important for us. So what Prabhupada says that as long as the material body exists, as long as we are in this world, we are in this body, even though we say we are not body, we are soul, but the soul is encaged in this body, right? So there are actions and reaction in the material modes. Any activity we do, there is some reactions. So one has to learn the tolerance in the face of dualities such as happiness and distress or cold and warm. And then by tolerating such dualities up and down, right? Some days we are happy, sometimes we are sorrow. It happens, but we want all the time to be happy, but there is no possibilities. So sorrowness also comes. So that if we think that the sorrow and happiness is no different, so if we can tolerate that duality, okay, now I'm sad, maybe after 3 days all my problem will be solved, I'll be happy. So that is what is the tolerating such dualities, then you become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss. So this transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the good will of Krishna. So you have to depend on Krishna, you have to surrender to Krishna. That whatever you think good for me, you do it. Then happy, I don't know, But we don't do that, right? We want to control. I want to this happen this way. If it doesn't happen, not good. Frustration, right? So this is what. So first portion I said that Vedas. So let us see what Vedas. Why have the Vedas? Why does Vedas they came into existence? Why they are made? So I was reading somewhere. So Prabhupada has given nice explanation. These Vedas are actually not the way you see the voluminous books and all that. Vedas came by traditional process. Earlier, people used to hear from their guru and then they again tell to their disciple. So by hearing process, Shruti process. So that is how they came, right? So by hearing it came, father says child says, but those people are, kind of really good. They have a lot of, really strong memory. Nowadays we don't remember what, what we did just few seconds back, right? So this was the process, it was happening, and there was only one Veda, there is Atharva Veda, everything was there. But Vasudev knows that Kali Yuga is coming. Now these Kali Yuga's people are special, we are all special people. We cannot, we are really useless, but we think that we are great. So then they think that these people will not have memory, and but still, Vasudev is, incarnation of Krishna, He is Lord. So He's very merciful. You think that what to do because He also always wants to help the people. So for Kali Yuga people only, He broke those Vedas into 4 parts and written them. So that is how it came in a written format. And then Vedas also, many people nowadays, we don't study Sanskrit, many people don't know. So he then, the slokas and meaning and all that people cannot do. So he further wrote Mahabharata in a story format, like in movies, then people, people will get attracted to movies. So that is a Mahabharata made in that way. And there is the Puranas. So this is how the Vedas came into existence. Okay, but why these Vedas were written? So that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the purpose of Veda is sambandha, to establish relationship. Relationship with whom? Relationship with Lord, yes, God. So that's what the Vedanta Sutra that says that Janmadhyasya yata, that everything is born out of the energy of God, including us. We are all part and parcel of Lord, right? Everything came from Lord. So therefore we call God Father. God as Father, right? Even Christian also say. So this is accepted in every religion. There is no argument. Now what is the relation between Father and the Son? So we have the Son or kind of daughters. That is how it is created. So there is a relation. But in that relation, what to do? So nowadays, what happened? The kids expect that parents only should help. It's a one-way traffic, right? I have no liability for my father or my parents. But that is not the fact. So we also have some duty. So same way that if Krishna is our father, then what is our relation? What is our responsibility? So definitely we have relationship. Relationship means we have the responsibility. So the animals, they don't know that relationship. Animals, they just come, they have that 4 fundamental work, they finish, right? Sleeping, eating, mating and defending. But human life is rare and human life is different than animal life. So naturally, these Vedas are made for human life. All these scriptures are in fact for human being. Okay, so now this 2.45 what we are reading, then 2.46 Krishna mentioned a little bit what Vedas primarily deal with, but because we cannot read Vedas, because Kali Yuga people do not have, as I said, we have so much of shortcomings, we have no patience, we cannot read, right? So Krishna says a very simple example that how those Vedas knowledge can come to us quickly. So that is the next sloka only. Krishna says. So he says that all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. So a small well can supply unlimited water kind of thing. And similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. See, a lot of people, even earlier I used to think it's great, you should be able to read Vedas, so like that. But it's not possible, neither we attempt, neither it is possible in one lifetime. So, and then what, even if we read it, then what is the purpose? Like, people do yajna, so many mantras, they do sacrifice, I'm from Bengal, they do so much thing, Kali Puja, animal sacrifice, so big thing. At the end of the day, what we gain out of that? So most of the people, they get into that sense enjoyment, like something they have in mind. So got fulfilled, so I came to, the demigod or goddess and then I do something, It's like a business, right? So the purpose is not known, so the purpose is important. And Mahaprabhu says the purpose is to establishing the relationship with Krishna. That is why Vedas. So Vedas actually came out of the mouth of Krishna. When Brahma was created, Brahma was alone and Brahma doesn't know what to do. He says, nobody's around, so I'm just alone, what to do? Then he started meditating and then Krishna gave him knowledge in his heart. So that is how the Vedas came. Okay, and that is from there, in disciplic succession, Brahma says Narada, Narada says Vyasa, like that, it's just, gets into that tradition, right? But the purpose is that. Then Krishna explained everything, that Brahma, why I created you, what is the purpose, and this is what you have to do. Brahma is clear, Brahma is intelligent, but we think we are more intelligent than Brahma, yeah? So that's the problem, yeah. Okay. So here, so basically Vedas, majority of the those contents are karma kanda we call. Karma kanda means it's a ritualistic activity, how to do jagna, how to do puja. So there are a lot of rules. No, you have to. The Purohit will give you list of 40 items, 100 items. What kind of jagna you want? Then nowadays they charge also 10,000 minimum. Then it will go up to 1 lakh, 10 lakh. If Ambani has a housewarming ceremony, means it goes into crores. So like that, it goes. They'll have a different list. So 2 kg ghee is minimum, and then 5 kg, 10 kg, like that it goes. How long? So those processes are written in Vedas, right? And the purpose is there. Interpretation is karma kanda. I want something. I want to fulfill something, right? I want a big house, or I got a job, so I have to do to temple. I have to do worship. I got my first salary. I have to do something, right? So that is the process. So everything related to the treasure, right? And that is very nicely done. And that is how our the traditional Purohit or Brahmins, they are doing it. So they will not talk about Krishna and what is your relation, who are you, how you can do a self-relation. Any Brahmin ask you, who are you? Or if you ask them, who am I? They have no answer. They say, Baba, you came, you tell some mantra and take this, I will give some charanamrita, prasadam, and then you will give me money, right? Immediately they lost money. So that is what is there. So self-realization. What is self-realization means? Wow, who am I? Why am I here? The way of Brahma. So we are all came from Brahma. Right? We are just degraded and become like this. That is only unfortunate. We are all in the stage of Brahma, right? But we started doing, forgetting Krishna more and more, and then we slowly, we want more and more sense enjoyment. We want more. So we forgot slowly, forgot Lord, and then we came into this stage. So we don't know who I am and why I am here. So we don't ask those questions. So that asking those questions only is self-realization. So that is there in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. So the now in these 2 slokas, Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna is very clearly telling that the purpose of Vedas is to know Lord Krishna. That you have to know me, and then, so that is the slow process, or he's giving a shortcut process. We will just read through that one. So now we know the purpose of Vedas is basically to know Lord Krishna. And he is the primeval cause of everything. So understanding Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. Anybody knows what is our relationship with Krishna?
Surrender to Krishna.
There is a process, but what is the main relation? We have to surrender. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are eternal servant of Krishna. So that is our position. So if we go and serve Krishna, that is our position, then we have no problem. That's the complete. Then you are complete. That is self-realization, right? So the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. So revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfection stage of Vedic knowledge. And this is how, this introduced Srimad Bhagavatam. So you see here, all covered now. We have Srimad Bhagavatam in English, 18 volumes of book, 28,000 sloka. So that Vedas is much more, but the Srimad Bhagavatam has everything in that, and it is written by Srila Vyasadeva. He only wrote Vedas, and then his guru said that what you have written is not good. You have spoiled the people. So then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so that introduces Srimad Bhagavatam, and what? Since Srimad Bhagavatam, what is further there? That is what I'm just quickly summarizing that. So what we do in ISKCON. So that is what we also, like Srimad Bhagavatam also, we all desire to study and all that, it takes time. But in summary, what is the essence? There, oh my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name. We all do chanting, right? That is what in ISKCON we do every day. So although born of a low family like of a Chandala, Chandala means the people who eat who eats dog. They are called Chandala. They are the lowest in the society, right? Is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. A Chandal who is normally in a society, they are treated very badly. They are kind of isolated from the society. But if he is chanting the holy name, So he is in the highest platform compared to what is Srimad Bhagavatam is telling. And how he can do that? He says that such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. So somebody chanting, I mean we are all fortunate that we have that opportunity, chanting, right? So that means we have come to this stage means we are really fortunate. We should not feel bad about us. We have come to this stage means we have already done what other people are doing. Lot of sacrifices they do, lot of no fasting. They go top of the hill and barefoot. The many things they do, right? Lot of people, and then Himalaya yogis, just with air they survive for their entire lifetime. The winter and all, they will take deep bath in water, not like us, we need geyser and hot water. But they do all this, but if you are able to chant means you have already done all this. That is only this sloka is telling, right? So that means the person who is chanting, he is the best, right? So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of Vedas. Now, see this is what, so people usually they get attached to the rituals. They do puja, this, that and all, everything done, and then again they started doing this. Even the dacoits, they do Kali puja, so that they can rob people nicely, kill people nicely. So what is this, So, but that is the ritual. They do nice puja, and then end of the day they come and then, so this is the problem. And then a lot of people I want more and more, I want more, I want to go to heaven. So they do a lot of this jagna, but that is not the purpose of Veda. The basic purpose of Veda is to understand our real position, right? So this is something in ISKCON, just by chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we serve all the purposes, what is there in Vedas, okay? So this is what is recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. So once it happened, like there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in Varanasi, and then Prakasananda Saraswati, he's a high class Brahman. He studies Vedanta philosophy, and he said, what, you are doing, what is this on the road, you are chanting, dancing and all, then how you can get Lord like that, right? And Mahaprabhu is Lord himself. So he's questioning Lord. Then he says, this is what I am a big fool, and this is what my Guru says. This is the humility Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya is showing. And then later on he can conquer all of them, convince them, all of them, that what they are doing is not enough, doesn't result in anything. So this chanting in Kali Yuga is the only way, right? Okay, so this is what, so now we know what is Vedas, purpose of Vedas, and for us what is the purpose of Vedas. So that way we really, we should not be too much attached to those mantras and whatever they do, or jagga and all. See, normally ISKCON devotees don't do much, we do only in the temple, the Harinam Sankirtan, this is the big, this is the big jagga, the best jagga only we do, right? Okay, now these three modes of material nature, what something in this sloka is started. So anybody has any idea what are the three modes of material nature? Okay, yeah, that's the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So we all are in those three modes. So we are switching between these three modes. Maybe I'm just taking class 9 when I go home. So I also start fighting with my wife. So I get into mode of passion or ignorance. So we keep changing, But we have to go out of that mode. Then only you can go to Krishna. As long as we are in these modes of material nature, we are in the material nature. We are here. Okay. So this and whatever we are doing, it is actually we are not doing anything. We are doing because of the modes of nature only. So this is to be. So actually we are helpless. We want to lord over. We want to be boss. Because everybody has that tendency, right? I'm telling somebody not listening is problem. So this is because of the mode of material nature. So it's really not our fault, but that doesn't mean that we are not responsible. We are only responsible, right? We have to get out of those, we have to go beyond that. So there is a term they use, transcend, right? So how we can do that? So we are impure soul, we are conditioned soul, right? We are part and parcel of Krishna, we are with Krishna, we are pure, but we revolted against him, Krishna, no. You only enjoy, I don't like, I also want to enjoy like you. Then Krishna says, oh, you go, this is not the place. So we are here, we just drop down here to enjoy. So and then in that process we have all these bad qualities, so we are impure soul. And then we are in these three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance. And then what happened? We completely missed our true desire of loving devotional service to Krishna. We forgot Krishna, right? So these three modes are actually binding. So if you see, Bhagavad Gita, a picture, the person is bound with a lot of shackles, So it's not easy to cut those bindings. So whole purpose to do this self-realization or, doing Krishna consciousness is cutting those chains, So that is only we are trying to do. So here I'll just little bit give that what happens, like what is mode of goodness. So all these are actually explained in chapter, summary in 18th and then 14th. So Krishna says, O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows that what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating. So that is the mode of goodness. So whoever is in mode of goodness, he is perfect. He knows what is to be done. So, and what is not to be done. So that is a very clear understanding. And they are only called Brahmanas. But actually not the, who do traditional puja and all, they are not Brahmanas. And or who is born in a Brahman family, they are not Brahmanas. So that is what the, Srila Prabhupada, as hearing one day other lecture, like, Maharaj lecture, so he's telling what Srila Prabhupada did. So nowadays, a lot of people who are born in Brahman family, they are lucky that they are born. But if they are not following those processes, many of them cannot, like I have a lot of friends, they came and removed their thread in the hostel. Hey, what is this, you are Brahman here? He says, no, I cannot follow all this, I cannot do puja, I have to enjoy. So he just thrown his thread. So they do all this kind of, so that means he's not Brahman anymore, right? Whereas in ISKCON, to get a thread, so much we study, right? We do so much. First initiation, you have so many right exams, then you get in first initiation, you do shelter initiation, and then there's so many processes, and then second initiation. So they are capable of worshipping Lord Krishna. So they are in a great platform. And they know what is to do. So they have that knowledge now because they have studied. They have to study entire Bhagavad Gita 10 times, they have to study Bhagavatam till 6th canto, so there are so much. That means they have acquired enough knowledge, they have very clear understanding. So that is mode of goodness, at least mode of goodness beyond that. And then what is passion? I mean, many of us are in passion, so we cannot distinguish between the religion and irreligion. We don't know what is religion, what is irreligion. Between action that should be done and action that should not be done. See, if we clearly know what I should not do as per Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, then you are perfect. But we don't know, right? Because we don't have enough knowledge. And then what is there? So we don't know what should be done. Action should be done, action should not be done. So that is the mode of passion. We want something, right? And then in that process, we don't care what is there. And then we get. So if we do something wrong in the process because I need to achieve something, right? So then we have the binding. And what is ignorance? So there are many people, you'll observe, if you have understanding, many people in ignorance. So they think irreligion to be religion. See, what is really against the religion, that is only they do religion. And then they, under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction. There are many people, you tell something good, they'll say, why I listen to you? You are telling that is correct, but according to me, if I do this correct, right? You have seen many people, right? And they will have a lot of arguments, so better just get out of those places, So they are mode of ignorance, right? Because you cannot correct them, you cannot, So now what we have to do, see all three, goodness seems to be good, but that is not good. So our ISKCON is telling that is not good, even Lord Krishna is telling that is not good. Why? Sometime there is one example I was telling, like the on example I was telling, like in the dream it happened that you become a king with good family, wife, children, and then suddenly you came out of dream. Then what am I? So mode of goodness is like that. I know I can do Vedic mantras, I can do very nice, I behave to people nice. They develop their ahankar, right? And that's the problem. So they will also stay here only. Because we have to be free of ahankar, then only Krishna will call us. Otherwise, no, right? So that means all these three gunas, what we are telling, Satya guna, Raja guna, and the mode of ignorance, the three. So we have to transcend. So what is that transcend? So transcend means, so that is only we'll cover a little bit, because all these three modes, what is the problem of these three modes? Because they are all material. That's why I say that somebody feel good, that he can do something good to people. It happened, you help somebody, then immediately, you try to tell, that person was in trouble, I gave him some food, I gave some money, I gave them. So if you do that, that means what? So you are really not good. So you are not doing good justice to you, right? So that is what is the problem. That means you are still in material consciousness, because you are thinking that your body, you are identifying, I have done, I want my name to come there. Charity, immediately, if somebody gives a charity, they want to display that these people, donated so much. So you donated the highest amount and you see that board name is not there. What will happen to you? What will be your feeling? You feel bad, right? Immediately feel bad, my name is there. But Krishna says that everything belongs to me. So if you feel that I am nothing, I'm just part and parcel of Krishna, and I'm eternal servant of Krishna, and the money what I gave belongs to Krishna. This body, hands, everything that belongs to Krishna. Whom am I giving? That person belongs to Krishna. Then what is my role? So I'm actually nothing. But I'm upset. My name is not there in the display, or they didn't announce my name. I gave highest donation. So that is a problem, right? So now, this is what is important, because they're all material. These three modes of material nature. So that is what three modes. Now, other thing is, so that means we have to understand that we have nothing to do with this material. Then you are above these three modes of material nature. Done. So that is what only Krishna is telling. But it's not easy to practice, it's not easy to do. So that is what we have to do. Another thing, like there are different people, like if you come across, so they're grossly categorized as karmis. The karmis mean the general people. They go into office earning money, they're all busy, right? We are also busy, we are karmis only, right? Most of the time. But only we are doing a little bit chanting. So karmis are always interested in that. Whole day their whole activities is buying stuff, cooking, eating, sleeping, and that's all. Again, how we get more money, how we do more. Have to enjoy. So they are called karmis. They are not bothered about Krishna, they are not bothered about God and all that. And then Gyanis, the Gyanis are Gyanis. Gyanis means they acquire little knowledge. This is not good. So they try to be perfect, and they try to do, they read books and all this. Yes, I know Vedas, I know this, that, like that. So they are Gyanis, and they say that yes, I want to merge with Krishna, merge with Lord. So that's the Gyani. And then Yogi say, I am only Lord. Lord is here, sitting here. Lord is sitting here. Everybody knows. Yeah. So that's the expansion of Krishna is sitting here. Everybody. That's why you are alive. So he said, yes, I am Lord. I am Krishna. So I'll meditate and I'll merge with him. So what is there? Why I have to do all this? So this is the yogis. But all three, three of them, they are again in the material platform, right? So there, Krishna introduced the devotional service. So we are devotees. So we are not karmis, we are not gyanis, we are not yogis, right? We are doing a yoga, we are doing bhakti yoga, right? So that the highest class of yoga, that is only Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So we don't want liberation and all that. We want to serve Krishna. That is called devotional service. The Gyanis and all, they want liberation. So that's what only Bhagavad Gita introduced. So here it says, Mam chaya vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunam samati taitan brahma bhuyate kalpate. Who one engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature. So it is in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, 26 sloka. So not that Krishna, it gives us the problem, no, he gives us the solution. So how do these three modes, what we are doing today, we are all in that. And how to transcend that, he said that you have to engage in devotional service. What is devotional service?
Chanting 16 rounds Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Devotional service is one of them, yeah. So there are 9 devotional processes, right? Yeah. So whatever activities we do, see, whatever we are doing now, is there anything material we are doing?
No, no.
Why not?
It is selfless and it is doing for ourselves, not for others.
Ourselves means...
we are not expecting anything. Material means we are expecting something.
So at this point of sitting here, you are not asking that if I hear this lecture, maybe I can go and apply somewhere, earn some money. Or, we are not doing that, right? I'm just telling, selflessly I'm telling. Now completely my mind is absorbed in this. You are also hearing nicely in this place. So that means this is no material thing. So this is only, that means you are beyond those 3 modes of material nature. Yeah. So this is how any service you do for Krishna. So then you transcend those 3 modes. So now no good, bad, nothing. Right? You are all hearing only, right? So now you don't have anything in your mind. You are not passionate, neither ignorant. But sometimes it comes to our mind, what he is telling like that, right? So that is again a problem, right? So now I'll give the little summary, right? So we have Vedas, 3 modes of material nature, how do we transcend, and then what Prabhupada is telling here. Then other things, if you do this, then what is in between, there is one more thing is that the dualities, we can tolerate the duality. So if our thinking is very clear, then so now Prabhupada, again I am coming to the last paragraph. So Prabhupada says very clearly that as long as the material body exists, there are actions and reaction in the material mode. So one has to learn tolerance. Even I also have problem. No? My daughter has exam now till night 12:30 I have to study. If I don't support, then she will be big fighting and all. So that means, and I'm planning to sleep, or I'm feeling very exhausted and all that. But and we also suffer, right? We will also have all kind of fever, all diseases we will have. Not that we are doing this means immediately we are with Krishna. No, as long as we are here, we have this body. The body is to give us pain. So if you have that understanding that this body is for my pain only, we blame, no, what kind of doctor, he charges 750 rupees and then cannot fix. I'm suffering 7-8 days for fever, simple fever, he cannot fix it. We do all this, right? But whatever you do, if you come out of fever, you will have some other stomach problem, you will have some other problem, or something else will happen, corona coming, lightning, flood, all, So all this, that there are different modes, you already know, the suffering, 3 modes of suffering, right? So as long as we have this body, we have the problem. And then what we have to do? We kill ourselves. A lot of people do that in super frustration. Then what happens? Either they don't get a body and they suffer more, or they get a body, different body, animal body, so more suffering. So we have to tolerate, right? So that is what in the beginning is there, no? Matras parsatu konteya sitasna sukha dukkada agampayana nittas tam titiksavarate. So bharata. So what he says, O son of Kunti, these are non-permanent, like the day and night. Now we have night, now yes, tomorrow sunlight will come. So these are all temporary, and we have to just tolerate. Like the season change, this will also go away, right? So if we know that, we have a tolerance. And then we have tolerance, and we know we are working for Krishna, we are in full Krishna consciousness, that means you are transcendental. We are depending on Krishna. If we think that, okay, this suffering, yeah, is given by Krishna, my karma and I didn't do properly, okay, whatever, maybe he'll take care. So if you can do that, then perfect, right? So other thing, I was seeing through some Prabhupada's disciples, somebody has written that we are basically a tiny soul, encaged in this body, and we are eternally we are different. We are different than Krishna. We are not Krishna. One understanding is very clear. We are never Krishna. We are telling part and parcel. Doesn't mean that cut and we have been created. We are jivas. We are independent. We have free will. We can do whatever we want. If you don't want Krishna, Krishna will fine, no problem. I have no problem. Then you suffer. And then when you suffer, you want Krishna. Krishna, okay, I'll help you. You come to me, I'll help you. Right? So we are always that way. Now other thing would have already known that if you are not controlled by Krishna, we are controlled by whom? Maya. Okay. So we are never independent, right? We have free will, we can do whatever we want, but we are controlled by somebody, right? So if you don't, so that's what. So and that is what the three modes of material nature. That is Maya Devi, right? So that's what it is. Krishna is Surya Sama, it's like a sunlight, and Maya is Andhakar, it's the darkness. So if it is our choice, we want light or we want darkness, right? So where there is Godhead, there is Krishna, light. When light is there cannot be any darkness. That is your when there is a light in this room, light is there. Can anybody say, why it's so dark? I cannot complain, right? Everywhere light is there. But light is gone means it's darkness, right? So that same way, if Krishna is there, then there is no chance that Maya will come and attack you. So that means all these things, what is happening in our life, all because of Maya. So if you are dependent on Krishna, then everything gone, right? So that is something is very, very important. And then other thing I was reading, I just want to see that when you are in the bank of river, normally you see the breeze or the current is higher than the middle of the river, right? If you go to the middle, it is less. So why this example? So we are actually in the middle of the material life, right? We are, so that is what we are actually, we are trying to escape. We are escaping, then we will come to the age, so we feel more pain, right? So therefore, if you are not surrendering, so naturally you are controlled by material nature, and that is the difficult position for us. Okay, and then I'll just, we'll just conclude. So other thing is like that one should be serious about this human life, as in the introduction only I said that this is a real life. We are different from animal. A lot of people, they debate what animal we also do. We are just a little civilized animal, because they completely miss this part that we have a spiritual life. Animals do not have. Animals cannot do. They cannot read Bhagavad Gita. They cannot attend the class, right? So this is something, human life is very rare. We have to understand that. And then how do we practice? So that is what Prabhupada, most of the time you would have seen Prabhupada say that you try to be in the mode of goodness, right? And then it is easy. I mean, you are like more ignorance is the lowest level. Then better is passion, that is in 14th chapter is written. And then better than passion is definitely goodness. And then you are always in goodness, means you can transcend. That yes, now your every behavior is good, and then you just do it for Krishna, you transcend all the modes of material nature. And that is the Krishna consciousness. And that is the aim of human life, right? So now what happened, so sometime, I was reading this one, I thought I'll say it, so it is easy to say but difficult to practice, right? Because we are made out of material bodies. In our devotional service also, we get a lot of disturbance. So this disturbance happens because of those kind of passion and ignorance. So if they come in between, interfere with our devotional service, then it's a problem. We cannot surrender. But if you are completely surrendered, then these modes will not touch us. Like there are sometimes give an example, like a temple president shouts on you. But why temple president shouts on somebody? Not that he wants something material, because he wanted some service for Krishna to be done perfectly, and it is not done properly. Then he shouts, because there is no material. That is again for purpose is Krishna, right? So we cannot say that he is in mode of passion. He is anger. He is angry with me. No, I mean we normally don't use those terms that he got angry or he chastised me, he scolded me like that. We don't use, because the purpose for that behavior is again beyond mode of material nature. But sometimes on our own it happens. We shout on somebody, right? I'm doing this, I'm so nicely chanting and you come and disturb me. What is important for you? So not that we are in samadhi, you broke my samadhi like that, So there we have to be very careful how surrendered we are. So if we, because many of us we have seen how we chant and how our mind takes us away from chanting to different activities, right? How difficult it is to chant, right? So chanting, we are telling chant, but how difficult it is to chant, because our mind does everything except thinking about Krishna, right? So that means we are not surrendered. So that we have to practice, and that is only called, that is incomplete. I was reading, so I thought I'd share. So they say if you had, but some people think that what is the problem? While chanting, I'm thinking about how I'll distribute books, how I'll do preaching. I think how do I take class and all during chanting. I'll go, you chant first, no. So like that I'm telling my mind, but mind doesn't listen. He's still planning. I'll take this, I'll tell this to others like that, So that is a problem. So that means we are not completely surrendered, we are not even mode of goodness. Because at that point of time, if I am dedicating for Krishna, it should be for Krishna only. Or we may think there are that there are 10 offenses while chanting. Many of you, I don't know, who are practicing. So there are 10 offenses. So this chanting has to be offenseless chanting. So I don't know, you can get the books and all, anybody I can share. There are 10 offenses anytime you're chanting, so these 10 offenses should be avoided, right? So it has to be offenseless chanting, then only it is useful. Otherwise, no, right? So our surrender, so that means there should not be passion and ignorance interfering with our devotional service. Then that's a problem. Then that is the incomplete surrender. So the effect of devotional service become manifest by complete elimination of this effect of passion and ignorance. So completely this is to be eliminated. Then we are better. But a pure devotee, definitely they transcend, they are beyond these three modes of material nature. So I think we are on time. So thank you so much for listening and tolerating me whatever I said. So if I have told something differently or if you have any question, so please you can feel free to ask, or you have any question, any comments. Yes.
Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. Obviously understand to you. Actually, what we have to make, we have to always keep in the boat of Krishna consciousness, and how to avoid the negative, demonic propensities.
And that is what a lot of Maharaj, they said that chanting mode. So that will come, it is coming. The demonic propensity means, if I take your question properly, like while chanting you are thinking something bad. That is one of the offense, right? So there is only the 10 offenses you should know. And I should read out the 10 offenses. I don't know, Mataji, you know. So many of us are chanting. So the 10 offenses, I'll try to see that if my memory supports me, because every day. Yes, Mataji?
Prabhuji, I read somewhere or I heard that if there is any negative thought, you can offer it to the Lord and then He will take care of it.
No, that's all. So that is his question is if I have a demoniac propensity during that time. I'm chanting that give me power, I'll go and kill somebody. I'll do harm to somebody. It can happen. So that's the offense. That means maybe you will get a little bit energy, but you are doing a big offense. You are, instead of helping you or yourself, you are harming yourself. So there are 10 offenses. I'll read out. The first offense is to blaspheming the devotees who have dedicated their life for the propagation of the glories of holy name. Like you're seeing all these brahmacharis, and they have given up everything. They are completely dedicated. Now, if you criticize them, so your chanting will not have any effect. Your chanting is bad. It's an offense. There is two terms in the material world. We do some bad activity. We are committing sins. I'll take little time. It's fine. Uh, so I'll tell you. That's with my little understanding. So that is called committing sins. You kill some animal, kill some insect, and all any activity. Lot of activities we commit sins. So in Krishna consciousness, what happens when we do Tulsi Arati, we do many things, no? So many of these sins are nullified. So we are actually fortunate that our sins are going off. Right? Just by Tulsi Maharani taking 4 rounds, you get rid of all your sins. But don't do again sins. We have so many sins in our life. So there is a sin. But in Krishna consciousness, in devotional service, we call offense. So offense is very dangerous. The God will forgive you for your sins, but not the offense. So you have to be very, very careful. So first offense I say, you cannot blaspheme. Blaspheming, telling bad about them, criticizing them. The devotees who have dedicated their life. That is number 1. Then number 2 is, a lot of people say that to consider the name of demigod like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma as equal or independent of Lord Krishna. So if you go outside, you are in this place, they will say there is no difference between Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They say, but no. When we study more and more, even the Vedas, everywhere they say no. Because Lord Brahma also, he worships Krishna. Lord Shiva is in yoga. What? Why somebody, if he is a Lord, why you do meditate on? So the Parvati asked that, what Lord, you are Ishvara, you are everything. Why? What is this? You are meditating, you are wasting your time, looks like. He said, no, I am meditating on Rama, Krishna. So that is the position that has to be very clear. Even sometimes a lot of people we go out, book decisions, they'll say, just here, okay, Lord, forgive me. So Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they are powerful. They're powerful. We call demigod. They're powerful Lord. They have specific purpose, but they are not same as Vishnu. They're not Lord. They're not Krishna. You have to understand that, right? That is the second offense. If you think that, it's the bad. The number 3 is to disobey the order of spiritual master. Like when you get initiated, so Guru is like God for us. Guru is like God. Not exactly God, but for us, He is everything. He is like a transparent wire medium, right? And we cannot disobey. If Guru says, you go and jump in that well, I have to do that. Because Guru knows that is good for me. I cannot deny Guru. Yeah, but there are different kind of Gurus. Nowadays, Babas, so you don't fall into that. So that's why you have to choose your Guru properly. Because some Guru, if they say, just to get a big palace, you sacrifice your son, your daughter. This daughter is not good for you, sacrifice, then you will have a big house. They do that. So neither that Guru is good, neither the instruction is good. So in ISKCON, we have a very, very rigid process, very difficult, and then we have to have strong desire, and then we get a Guru. So once we select our Guru, I know that he is Guru, because Guru only will take me to Krishna. Krishna will not come and take me directly. He is the medium. Then I cannot disobey the order. Whatever whether good, bad, So this is third offense. If I don't follow Guru, do something against Guru means I'm offending. Then the fourth one is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or any other literature in pursuant with Vedic instruction. So this is something Veda we are talking about. So that way we cannot, like we distribute Bhagavad Gita, we are Hindus, we read that. So we should not actually blaspheme, tell bad about Quran or Bible, we should not, because they also follow Vedas. Now people misinterpret, that's a problem. Because many people, even many Hindus, they don't know what is there in Bhagavad Gita, right? But if somebody does something to Gita, there are a lot of fights, that happen. So that is good, but that's a sentiment. But what is there, we don't know. So same way, any Vedic scripture, so we should not criticize, we should not blaspheme. Okay, blaspheme. That's the fourth one. Then fifth one is to consider the chanting of holy name as an imagination. They think, what is there in the name, right? So you should never think that, because the name and Krishna is not different. So that is what we have. And then the sixth one is to give an interpretation to the holy name. So somebody will interpret their own. But no, Prabhupada has given a nice explanation what is the meaning of entire Mahamantra. Somebody says, means, yeah, I'm very good in Sanskrit, so I'll make some meaning of Hare. I'll make some meaning of Krishna. No, there is a fixed meaning, it should not. He says, yes, this is not. Okay, and then the seventh one is to commit sinful activity on the strength of holy name. Okay, like you take water, then that will be the answer to your question. He says, while chanting, it happens in initial state. That means chanting means Krishna is, I'm merging with, a lot of people think, oh, now I'm Krishna. Because that mantra comes means actually Krishna comes on our tongue, Krishna comes in our heart. Yes, you can do anything, you are powerful. So that point of time, if you think of doing harm to somebody or you are commit sinful activity, and then you say that it nullifies my sins, and then you keep committing, I'll chant more and more, I'll do 30 round chanting, I'll go and kill people, and then I'll chant more and more, I'll do something. Then this is a big offense, right? So that is the seventh offense. And the eighth one is to consider the chanting holy name as the auspicious ritualistic activities as per Vedas. Okay, that is the karma kanda. So as I explained in this initial sloka, this our sloka, we do a lot of ritualistic activities, temple and all, jagna, homa and all that we do. So as we said that Sankirtan Jagna, the chanting is also a jagna we call, but they are not same. This is much more beyond that. That's the offense. If you think that okay, I'm doing this, means that is equivalent to that, that's a bad. That is a very lower level. This is much higher level, right? So that is also an offense. And the ninth one is to preach to a faithless person. So this is something very tricky. We have to do. See, a lot of people, they say, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. I don't want to hear. Here we see some people will say like this. A lot of people, they fight with us. If that Hare Krishna wala came like that. They do that. So we just pray to Krishna and give some knowledge to him. Yeah? So we don't go and tell him, I come here, I'll tell you Bhagavad Gita, chapter 245 sloka, I'll explain. So that is actually kind of offense, because he will not hear, and then I'm harming than helping, right? And then number 10 is also a little tricky. That is, to not have full faith in the chanting of holy name and to continue material activities, right? So unfortunately, many of us were doing that. So if you this chanting itself is, enough, right? But still we have to do a lot of material activities, we work, we do transaction, we do profit and loss, we always see all that. And then other one is to not to hear attentively during chanting. Because while chanting, you have to hear in your ear the clear names. If you are not doing that, so that is also a kind of offense. Because we are calling Krishna, and then it's like a lot of people give example, like you call a guest at your home, sit down in sofa, and then started gossiping, or you're in another room sitting. So it is the same. So that's the offense, right? So I think, yes, I took almost like 10 minutes extra, so thank you again for this. Yes, Prabhuji.
The question is, as you said, Krishna will forgive sins, but he will not forgive the offenses. And for us, literally, 10 offenses we can't remove and chant for now. So how to remove first offense, then we can start chanting.
So that is literally slowly, that's what if you do offense, you have to chant more. I was hearing on Maharaj, some same question was asked. How do I remove that? He says, do more chanting.
The time of chanting, if you do any offense, Krishna will, for practice, until we...
That's why we are all practicing devotee, but slowly it comes. This is our experience, you'll see. It takes time, like somebody 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. After that, at least the first, whatever 8, 9, it will not come in your mind. If you are very conscious, right? If you are very conscious, it will come, mind will play, because mind is very, very dangerous. Mind is our enemy, right? So you're just chanting, just like that, mind will start thinking something. Why? And you don't know, there's no clue why suddenly I'm chanting. I have some 5 years back something I did or that came in or something, right? So mind is very, very dangerous, right? But if you are conscious that I'm doing one of the offense, then next time you will not do, or you improve. You will not get into mind's trap further. So it will come slowly. It takes time, So that's what it takes complete or lifetime it takes, right? So it's not easy. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji?
One more question is, you said one offense is that we should not compare demigods to Lord Krishna. As we are chanting Krishna, Ram both are same.
The same, yeah.
Okay, I didn't read Ramayana, but I have seen that Rameshwar temple, that time Ram worship Lord Shiva and that Rameshwar temple established there.
This is
how
different.
He said Ramaswa Iswara is Rameshwara, that is Lord Shiva.
See, this is what is like when Krishna comes as avatar, like Mahaprabhu, he never says I'm Lord. Mahaprabhu is Krishna, right? But he never told anybody that I am Krishna. He's his devotee. He's just going worshipping. Even Krishna himself he came, right? In Vrindavan. So what he was doing, he's taking the slippers of Draupadi, carrying Draupadi, Arjuna, what not Arjuna did with him, no? He's cutting jokes and all. Yes, so because that is only when you read Bhagavad Gita we'll understand. So when he comes in that form, he's playing, he's demonstrating, he's playing a role, right? He's playing a role. But with that incidence, that's what Krishna says that people, see, Duryodhana could never realize that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Duryodhana, right? He never knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? But Arjuna knows. Yeah? The other Pandavas they know. Kunti Maharaji knows. So that is what when once you know, now you are telling you, right, that this name is Krishna and Krishna is the Supreme. See, that is what if you, I don't know, Prabhuji, like, forgive me, like, how many days you are coming here.
1 week.
1 week you are coming here. So slowly if you attend our program, you hear the lectures, we have the Siksha program, I think you have done some of the Siksha program. The first fundamental question initially we ask that do you think Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That is the fundamental understanding to do Krishna consciousness. So unless you accept or you have that clear understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nobody is equal to him, nobody above him, so that perfect consciousness is the Krishna consciousness, right? So that's not like we have difficulty when you go to relative house, you go to a temple, we just do this. So a lot of pujari and all, they may get offended. Kahan puja nahi leke aaya? Earlier I used to go with all lot of fruits, flowers and all, put 10 rupees, this, that. So I don't do now. Even if we enter, we just Ganpati help me so that I can distribute nicely books in front of you. So in Ganpati temple we do book distribution. But the same Purohit earlier, like almost 7 years back, I used to go every Saturday or major function. Now the same Purohit look at this fellow, but now they understand. Okay, this fellow is following his call. So that slowly will come. So I got your question. So that is what he did. Many things. No, Lord Rama did puja to demigod also. Yeah? Krishna also. No. He has gone for begging for his guru's instruction. So can you imagine, he is Lord, but he is not acting as Lord. He is acting a role. So that's the perfect example when you read more and more about Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu never said, no, I'm not. He never disclosed his Lord. He said, I'm a devotee. So he played the devotee role. And what devotee? What he taught us that how to worship Krishna. And who can worship Krishna? I mean, what satisfies Lord? Who knows? Only Lord knows, no? Like you know what makes you happy, right? I don't know what makes you happy. But if you tell once, hey, I am happy if you cook me or you give me this one, then I know, right? So that is what. So that's why, you know this, no? The 3 pictures you are seeing, no? Radha, Krishna, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is in this Kali Yuga. So Krishna came as avatar, right? He came as devotee. So there, yes, it is fine. Rama did lot of ayams. We also are in Ramayana, no? He gave his eye, Durga Puja, he did Rama Puja, he did, no? So, yeah, but he's playing a role in this to teach us. Like, he's like helpless, no? How Lord can, his wife gone and what is this? So if you think that, then you will not have any faith in Lord only, right? He's just playing a role that if you are in this position, what is your duty? And end of the day, what he proves? He's the victorious, right? Yeah. So just to say that you have to tolerate, you have to do this, follow properly. Yeah. So he himself came and demonstrated us. Instead of just being in Golok and with that chakra link and everything, but no, he just for our teaching. Yes, Prabhuji? Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, what does demi means?
As a demigod, I use that term, yeah. So what we call, like Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Hmm? So all this creation, annihilation and all that we read, right? So he says he's one and alone. He creates and then again he can destroy, like a kid's play, he can do that, right? And then what happened so he created so much. This creation is nothing. This Earth planet is a very, very minute. So once we know our position, we'll know where we want to be boss in a company or at home. But actually our position is very, very negligible. Like there are so many, once you read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so Krishna explained everything. He has shown Arjuna, right, what he is. So demigods are like managers. So see, Brahma is the first one he created just to manage this material world. Krishna is not here, he is not managing. It's like a chairman of a company sits in headquarters, right? And for many of us in the US, we never know who is chairman. But there are so many. So to manage this, so these are called demigods. So they are like a manager, they have a specific responsibility, right? That's why we go to Ganpati for certain purpose, we go to Durga for certain purpose. They have the certain responsibility. So they are called demigods. Even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they have specific responsibility. That's why we are calling them as demigod. But they have different levels, like manager, general manager, the CGM, chief general manager, like president, vice president. So God also there are many, right? So it's clear, yes, yeah. So that is why we should not, the demigod and this is, a lot of people, because they don't understand, they'll say, what is that? Krishna is also God and this is also God. They will worship in the tree only, put some thread and they will say, this is also God. So that is offense. We are offending Krishna, right? So that's the same way, like, in many, very simple example, like, you call somebody chairman of the company and then you started glorifying a clerk. Chairman, you sit down there, you say, this clerk is running the company, this clerk is doing what? Immediately you will go out of the job, right? So same. So it is something similar. Sorry, I just took some material example. Yeah, right. So thank you so much. So it is really it's my pleasure that you asked me questions.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So anybody has any specific question, want to know something? We have devotees here, even I am also right now here, you can ask, So it's really, it's good that you came in Friday evening and spent your valuable time, so you are there to help you. So anything is there, we can help you, we'll help you. Yeah, so you can connect to anyone. Thank you.